Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever come to Seattle and, in front of a sellout crowd, put on a show. Welcome back to another episode of the Seattle Sports Show, where we love Seattle pro sports. I'm your host, Mikey, and today I am here to talk about the Seattle Storm versus the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark comes to Seattle for the first time as a professional women's basketball player. Brings a sellout crowd with her, over 18,000 fans at Climate Pledge Arena for this one, and it was a good one. The Storm get the win narrowly, 85-83. The other great thing about this game was Nika Mühl got to make her WNBA debut, and she did it in style pre-game, wearing this awesome shirt that was like this fake Visa card that had approved stamped on it. So that was awesome. She didn't get to play much today. She's got to, find her legs and get caught up with the rest of the team. But she did get in there for, 3 minutes. And, she was in there long enough to get a couple of rebounds and have Caitlin Clark just absolutely nail a three in her face. So Caitlin Clark probably felt good about that one, getting that one back, because as we know, the last time these two met, Nika Mühl, held Caitlin Clark in check during the NCAA women's college basketball tournament. So that probably felt good for Caitlin. It was a welcome moment to the WNBA for Nika Mühl. I'm just glad she got to make her debut, and that we should see her going forward as she gets to practice more with the team. I imagine she's going to get on the court more going forward. I mean, already tonight, we did not see Kiana Williams get any minutes, and if Nika Mühl was not available, I imagine a couple of minutes would have went to Williams, but I think Mühl is going to get a couple of minutes now, and as she gets more experience, she's going to get more and more minutes, because I think she can be a big difference for this team. All right, but let's go ahead and let's talk about this game in general, and what our players did. Okay, so this game, if we're looking at the Storm, the defense is still there. I mean, we had 6 steals on the night. Now listen to this: 9 blocks as a team on the night. Ezzy had 3, Vivian's had 1, Sammy Wickham even had 1, and then Horston had 4 blocks. Okay. Now I talked about this team playing sloppy themselves. Only 8 turnovers tonight, so that is a big improvement. So again, we're starting to see this team gel a little bit more, get the chemistry a little bit more. Tonight, Nika Gumage came back. That was her first game back in a couple of games. Again, the preseason, the workouts, it's all very short period for the WNBA. So we saw these first few games from the Storm. Everything wasn't quite clicking yet, but I think as we go along, things are going to start to click to more. Now, I mean, tonight was the first game that we had all 11 players available, whether it was due to, visa not being approved or injuries. So this is the first time all 11 players were available. And if we get a few games in a row like that, again, they will build their chemistry and get better offensively, because still not quite where we want them to be. I mean, especially from 3-point land. This is an area I'm just like so ecstatic about how much this defense has improved over last year. But for whatever reason, because the players who I expect to be successful in this area, just aren't right now, and that's from 3. We're talking about we were going from being one of the best to now we're like the worst in the league. Even tonight, we were 6 for 20, just 30% from 3. So once Jewel Lloyd starts finding her shot, she was 2 for 3. I mean, 2 for 5 from 3 tonight. But when she starts finding it, when Sammy Whitcomb starts finding it more consistently, she was 2 for 7 from 3 tonight. When they start finding that more consistently and they start to score points, then we will, see this team really start to be that, super team, that Seattle Superstorm that I talked about. Right now, they have been the Storm, now improving to 2 and 3 on the season, but they haven't been that super team, haven't felt like that super team yet, just because the chemistry hasn't been there. But again, already tonight, the passers much more crisp, a lot more on time. Again, only leading to 8 turnovers tonight. So that was already an improvement. Again, we'll kind of see how this evolves. I mean, we did as a team again total tonight 20 assists. Lloyd being your leader with 6, and then Diggins with 5. Again, just building and building that chemistry. Lloyd had 32 points tonight. Agwumike had 22. That's your leaders right there, and those are your stars that you want to see scoring those big points like that. Magbagor, 14 points, exactly where you'd like to see her. Skylar Diggins-Smith, again, still finding it herself, was 1 for 10 tonight from the field goal and 0 for 2 from 3. She only had 2 points on the night. Again, I don't know why all the players that we expect to be good from 3 or just be scoring at a higher rate have been so low so far for the Storm. But they'll find it. I mean, again, Lloyd, she found it tonight. She got up to 32. Agwumike, she's actually been consistent. It's just that she missed a couple of games, right? So again, this is all going to come with chemistry, and we'll see her be consistently up in that 20s. Lloyd up again in the 20s, mid 20s, hopefully. And Diggins-Smith, you'd like to see her consistently in the teens, along with Magbagor as well. And that'll all come in time. Whitcomb was great off the bench tonight as well, getting 10 points in total. Like I said, Horston only got 2 points, but what she did defensively with 3 steals and 4 blocks, oh yes, you'd love to see that. And here's what the Fever did. Okay, Nalissa Smith, she was going to town on us. She scored 16 points. We had Kelsey Mitchell. She was on fire for them tonight, scoring 17. And then, of course, Caitlin Clark, 21 points. And you just see it with her, right? She didn't score a bucket until that second quarter. But once she got going, right? And again, she hit that 3 right in Nikki Mühl's face, that step back. She did the same exact thing on the opposite side of the court, opposite side of the arc, but same exact thing basically to Skylar Diggins-Smith. Driving, boom, steps back, hits that 3. Defense can't do anything about it. She's amazing. I mean, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, couple of blocks. It was fun to see her. I'm just like so glad that she's in the WNBA, because look at the attention she brought to this game. I mean, Climate Pledge Arena fully selling out. That crowd was amazing. The thing I was actually a little bit worried myself. I was like, well, you know, the Storm, they do a good job of selling tickets. Anyway, the Storm fans, you guys all do a good job of getting tickets and going to these games on a regular basis anyways. But I was like, well, that many more people are gonna go. There's gonna be a lot of people there rooting for Caitlin, and there was, but it was just amazing to see and to hear the crowd really behind their hometown Seattle Storm. Because I saw a lot of games with Caitlin Clark already in the 5 games she's played in. I'm thinking of the game with Connecticut Sun. There's a lot of jerseys out there with Caitlin Clark. I mean, it was so much so that the Connecticut Sun, they did like a bandwagon fan cam on their jumbo screen, whatever, right? And they just went around the stadium showing all the fans in their stadium wearing Clark uniforms. And I'm sure there was those fans out there in Seattle doing that tonight, and good. I'm glad. I mean, if you're a fan of Caitlin, be a fan of Caitlin. And, if it gets you into women's basketball, that's great. And if it gets little boys and girls into basketball, that's great. But I was like, oh man, it's gonna be a bummer for the home team if it feels like the crowd is more there for the other team because of their fan of the other one. But no, Seattle, man, you guys were energetic for the Seattle Storm, like to win. Again, like I said, watching some of these Caitlin games, it almost felt like some of the other. There's so many fans of Caitlin going to these games that they're like, even an away game for Caitlin, it almost feels like a home game because there's so many people there rooting for her to win. Not in this one. It was very obvious that people were there because they wanted to see Caitlin, but a majority of the crowd really still wanted to see the Seattle Storm win. And it was also awesome, the ovation and the just the cheers and support that Nika Mühl got when she got to get into the game. Again, she only got in there for a couple of minutes, but when she checked in, Seattle Storm fans went nuts and cheered her on, and that was fun and awesome to see. Because we've been waiting for her debut, and again, that was a thing. Like, it was like, okay, there's 18,000 people there. They know what's going on with Nika. It wasn't just like you hear like, oh, there's a little section of the stadium that got a little bit louder because they were excited to see Nika make her debut. No, it was like the entire stadium. They got loud, right? And I'm a big wrestling fan, so in wrestling, when the wrestler that's a good guy makes an entrance and the whole crowd gets excited, they call that a pop. But when Nika checked in, she got a pop. It was a big pop. And that kind of indicates to me that, yeah, there's a lot of people paying attention to this Seattle Storm team right now and the WNBA in general. And again, that's a big part thanks to Caitlin and this whole entire draft class in general. Caitlin, Cameron Brink, Camila Cardoso, Angel Reese, a lot of them, Nika Mühl, bringing a lot of attention while they were in women's college basketball to the game, and now everybody following them to the pros. It sure made it fun to watch. Just knowing that the women were getting the support that I've been giving them for years, and that they've deserved from a big crowd like that for years. It was really great to see. And it just in general a fun game. Came down to the last seconds. The Storm win by 2 points, and for much of the game, it felt like the Storm were beating them by more. But again, I think it was just more of that chemistry. They couldn't quite get it consistent enough on offense to really pull away. But that will come as the season progresses. And Caitlin Clark being 0-5 now, it'll come. Look how close the last couple of games have been, and look how much better her teammates are playing because of her. She's raising the level of play of the teammates around her. So she'll get her win. As a Seattle Storm fan, I'm glad her first win didn't come against us. So I'll be rooting for Caitlin. I'm glad it wasn't her first success in the win column didn't come against us though. So yeah, let me know. Did you tune into this game? I hope you did. I mean, maybe you were somebody who got to go. I'd love to hear from you if you were somebody who actually went to this game. We know that the Caitlin Clark games that are on TV, they are getting like a huge amount of viewers. So hopefully, if you're listening to this, you watched it, because it ended up being a real close game and a fun game to watch. And yeah, I would just love to hear your thoughts on it. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be the end of this one. Just such good stuff going on in women's basketball right now. So make sure you go check it out. And for this one, please hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, hit the like button, share it with your friends. I know there's so many more people that, want to talk about women's basketball right now. Not just that, you tuned in, but I know there's a lot more people that they're really getting into women's basketball now, and you want to chat about it with somebody. So that's what I'm here for. I've been a fan of the WNBA for years and years and years and years. And so if there's more people that want to talk about it, that's great, and I'm here for it. Let's chat. Let's talk some women's basketball. I mean, even if you want to chat me up about something other than the Seattle Storm, if you just want to talk about Caitlin Clark, or you want to talk about just other women's basketball players or teams in general, I love it. Let's do it. So leave those comments, share it with your friends, so we can all build this cool community. And podcast listeners, of course, do the same. Subscribe, follow, leave a 5-star rating and written review if you're on Apple Podcasts, because that helps the show grow. And thanks for listening to the Seattle Sports Show, where we watch legends awaken. So take cover, because with a sea of sound, you will see us rise to reign supreme and win forever.